Welcome. Let's understand the deep meaning of this wonderful classic Hindi story. Now, this isn't just your standard run of the mill fable about right and wrong. No, it's actually a fascinating look at economics, spirituality, and the totally inescapable laws of consequence. Today, we're going to unpack the tale of two incredibly cunning thieves and a moneylender whose, let's say, unconventional business practices completely turn the tables on them.
So think about this for a second. What actually happens when you promise to repay a loan in your next life? It sounds like an absolute joke, right? Just a bizarre loophole that anyone in their right mind would immediately laugh out of the room. But as we'll see, our two opportunistic thieves decide to exploit this exact ridiculous loophole to score what they think is just free money.
Okay, let's dive into this. To really get the dynamics at play here, we have to look at who we're dealing with. On one side, we have Seth Shanti Prasad. He's a wealthy moneylender from the city of Chandpur. But he is definitely not your typical greedy loan shark. He is famous far and wide for being strictly honest, God-fearing, deeply principled, and remarkably kind. The guy literally never harasses people for repayment. And then we have his exact opposites, Chitanku and Manku. These two are a pair of chaotic, deceitful, highly cunning thieves. They hear about the Seth's pristine reputation and instantly think, wow, what a gullible target. Part 1. The Honest Moneylender and the Next Life Loophole. Sensing an easy mark, our two thieves travel straight to Chandpur and march right into the moneylender's mansion to set their trap. They sit down across from Seth Shanti Prasad and pitch this heartbreaking, entirely fabricated sob story. They claim their village just suffered a devastating drought, and they desperately need funds to buy seeds and bulls so they can survive the coming season. The amount they ask for? 2,000 rupees. Now, in the context of the story, that is a massive sum of money. But the Seth, being a man of profound trust, actually agrees to help them out.
But wait, here is where it gets absolutely brilliant. The Seth, naturally, asks for a repayment timeline, like when is he going to get his money back? Shadakotsuku, feeling incredibly bold and just highly amused by his own cleverness, throws out this fatal phrase: if we don't pay in this life, we'll pay in the next. Any normal banker would literally throw them out onto the street. But Seth Santi Prasad, he just calmly agrees. He tells his utterly bewildered clerk, the Munshi, to draft a legally binding contract stating that the 2,000 rupees plus interest will be repaid in their next life. The thieves sign it, pocket the cash without even counting it, and walk out laughing.
Now, what's really interesting here is the concept of karmic debt. See, after the thieves leave, the clerk asks the Seth why on earth he would agree to something so foolish, and the Seth shares this profound secret wisdom. He explains that debt is exactly like karma. Financial obligations, unfulfilled promises, deceit, they don't just magically vanish when you die. They carry over and they dictate the exact circumstances of your future lives. The Seth wasn't being a gullible fool at all. He was just operating on an entirely different cosmic ledger. Moving on to part 2, the talking bulls. So, celebrating their massive, supposedly free payday, the thieves stop for the night at the home of a kind old farmer, and they sleep out in the courtyard near his animals. But in the dead of night, they are suddenly jolted awake. They hear voices, human voices, but there are no humans around. The voices are actually coming from the farmer's two bulls. The thieves lie there, totally frozen, listening to this unbelievable conversation. The first bull explains that in a past life, he owed the farmer 200 rupees, so he was reincarnated as a beast of burden to literally plow away his debt. And the kicker? Tomorrow that karmic tab is finally cleared, meaning he's going to pass away at dawn.
And the terror really sets in when the second bull chimes in. He says his debt to the farmer is also paid up, but there's a huge problem. He still owes a man named Raghu 500 rupees from a past life. So tomorrow, Raghu's going to come take him away from more miserable labor. But then, the bulls drop an absolute bombshell. They start gossiping about the two thieves sleeping just a few feet away. The bulls are like, can you believe those fools just took 2,000 rupees from Seth Shanti Prasad to pay off a massive debt like that? They're definitely going to be reborn as the Seth's donkeys.
You can imagine the total, absolute panic. The thieves are terrified, but a part of them is desperately hoping it was all just a bad dream. Well, until dawn breaks. The prophecy unfolds exactly as the bulls said. Boom! The first bull suddenly drops dead. Then a large angry man named Raghu storms into the courtyard, waving a stick. He demands 500 rupees from the farmer, and when the poor guy can't pay, Raghu mercilessly beats him, unties that second bull, and drags it away. The farmer faints from the grief. Watching this unbreakable cosmic law play out in real time, it sends Chitanku and Manku into a complete meltdown. They realize they are trapped.
Which brings us to part 3, the refusal of repayment.
Realizing their souls are literally on the line here, the terrified thieves rent a cart and race back to Chandpur as fast as humanly possible. They burst into the Seth's mansion, practically begging for forgiveness. They throw down the full 2,000 rupees principal, plus an extra 211 rupees just for immediate interest. They just want off that ledger. But here is the magnificent dramatic irony of it all. Seth Shanti Prasad strictly refuses the cash. He just calmly looks at them and says, "I'm a man of my word." The legal contract they signed explicitly states the money will be collected in the next life. So nope, he's not taking it in this one.
Part 4, the clever well solution.
Kicked out onto the street with their own stolen money, practically burning a hole in their pockets, the thieves wander into a dark forest, just weeping over their doomed fate. Eventually, they stumble upon a meditative sage. Terrified of becoming donkeys, they confess the whole shebang to him, and the sage offers them some profound guidance. He tells them true repentance isn't just shoving cash back at someone who doesn't even need it. It requires actual, genuine transformation. He points them to travel exactly 1 mile ahead, to a village suffering from a horrific drought, where people are walking 5 coasts, miles and miles, just to find a single drop of water. And this brilliantly illustrates their genius pivot. Seeing the absolute misery of these parched villagers sparks an idea in Chitanku's mind to outsmart the stubborn Seth. They launch a 3-step plan. Step 1. They take the borrowed 2,000 rupees, plus their own money, and dig a deep, pucka, like concrete well for the village. Step 2. Once the water is flowing, they stand guard with heavy sticks, aggressively denying the thirsty villagers a drink, claiming the well belongs exclusively to Seth Shanti Prasad. Step 3. They tell the desperate villagers that if they want water, they have to travel to Chandpur and beg the Seth for permission. So the entire village literally marches to the Seth's house pleading for water. The deeply confused Seth travels back to the village with them, only to find our 2 thieves guarding the well. And the thieves hit him with a complete moral checkmate. They say, "Look, this well was built with your 2,000 rupees. If you claim it as yours, our debt is paid and these people get to drink. But if you refuse because of our contract, you deny these people water, and the immense cosmic sin of an entire village dying of thirst falls squarely onto your karma." Finally, part 5, the ultimate karma lesson. So how does the fiercely principled Seth handle being cornered by his own spiritual logic? Well, with a deep sigh and then a smile, Seth Shanti Prasad happily admits defeat. He acknowledges their sheer cleverness, he claims the well, allowing the overjoyed villagers to finally drink, and he formally forgives the thieves' debt, releasing them from their karmic doom. But the real victory here isn't just the canceled debt. Chitanku and Mangu are so deeply changed by this whole ordeal and by the feeling of actually helping people that they permanently abandon thievery. From that day forward, they choose honest labor. As we wrap up this incredible explainer, I want to ask you something. Think about it. If your own karmic ledger was audited today, right now, what debts would be carried over to your tomorrow? Because we usually just think of debt in terms of bank loans or credit cards, right? But what about emotional debts? Moral debts? What about the promises we made and then just conveniently forgot? And that leaves us with our final lingering thought. As we learned from Chatanuku and Manku, true redemption isn't just about finding a clever way to pay back exactly what you owe. It's fundamentally about transforming your character for the greater good. It's about taking the energy you might have used for deceit and channeling it into something that brings water to the thirsty. So keep seeking out these profound philosophical stories and keep asking the big questions.